So recently I've been playing around with a program on my Android phone that's called Pcap. Now Pcap is a packet Wi-Fi sniffing software, and it's written by the same guy who brought us Kismet. And basically it will intercept packets on a Wi-Fi connection, and basically you can see what everybody else is doing on that Wi-Fi connection. Now I'm not going to go into how you actually use Pcap in this video. This video is just all about the hardware. I mean, if you want to learn how to use Pcap, the best place to go is to the forums, and I'll put a link below. But I've been playing around with it, and all this hardware, it's just too bulky. So what I want to do is actually make something that's a little bit more smaller and easier to manage, and possibly stealthier as well. I mean, I don't want to be sat in a coffee shop with all this and somebody looking over at me wondering what I'm doing. So I want to make something small and compact, and also that you can't see anything out of the normal with the phone. No big antennas sticking out of it or anything like that. So I've got myself a case here, got it cheap off eBay, a leather, well, fake leather wallet style case, and I chose this one because it's designed to put credit cards in this part here, and also has this lip pocket here, so I can put the actual Wi-Fi card underneath all that, and it should be nice and tidy and shouldn't be able to see it. And also I got myself an OTG cable, and I just chopped it down and exposed the wires here. I also ordered a couple of OTG cables that had or what I thought were a left hand bend in them, which I thought would be a lot better, but they came and they had a right hand bend, so they were bending up that way, so it would have caused me problems. So I'm keeping an eye out trying to find a left hand bend one, because I think this would work a lot better than having a straight one like this. Also I've got the Realtek RTL 8187L chipset here. This has come out of a cheap Chinese knockoff of the actual Alpha card. It's exactly the same chipset, but it's not quite as powerful as this one here. And what I've gone ahead and done, it had a mini USB connector here, and I've desoldered that, and I've attached the 4 wires here to connect straight up to the USB. And the reason I've done that is a couple of things. The actual solder pads on here aren't designed to be repeatedly desoldered and resoldered up again. They'll end up burning off. So it's going to be a lot easier for me to say add a left hand turn OTG cable to this without actually damaging the pads. I just desolder them off the wires here. And also I may want to use this in future for another project, because that's what I do quite often. I tend to when I've had enough playing with a project I make, then I tend to use parts and recycle them in other projects. So another idea that you can do for this is get one of these adapters off eBay, then you can use your laptop card. And this again is the RTL 8187L chipset, and it's very important that you use that chipset, because as of uploading this video it's the only one that's supported. And here there's a couple of RTL chips, and they are RTL 8187 chips, but this one is a B, and this one I believe is a AC or AB, something like that. But anyway, these two do not work with the Pcap software. The only adapter that's supported at the moment is this one, so just be wary of that. So before I do anything and start cutting or soldering, what I've done, I've just laid out the parts here, and this is how I think I'm going to have them. So we've got the OTG cable coming down here, and then I should be able to tuck it back underneath here and close the case when I'm not using it. And the antenna I'll have round about here, not too close to the card, and shorten this coax cable here and solders on down here at the bottom. So I think this is going to work out quite well. So now that I've got the actual cable attached now, and I've put some heat shrink tubing over the top of that to make it even stronger and hopefully protect it so it's not going to pull out, I'm now going to attach the antenna, and the antenna is going to go at the top of the case here. I'm going to feed down with the coax, and I'm going to solder it onto the card down here in the corner. Now somebody recently asked me the best way to actually splice this very fine coax that you find in laptops, and the trick is not to use any kind of wire strippers. If you use a sharp knife and actually just shave away at it to expose each layer, you'll find that you get a lot better results. If you use a pair of these, you'll just end up normally cutting it straight in half. So now that we've got the antenna attached down here, we can actually mount it inside the case. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use some double-sided tape to attach the card. The antenna has a little bit of sticky residue still left over from when it was in the laptop, and feed it on the inside underneath here, and just have this cable sticking out at the side. Now, actually soldering on this antenna to this card was really easy because like I said, it was actually an Alpha knockoff kind of thing. It wasn't trying to look exactly like an Alpha, but if you get my meaning, if you didn't take a close look at it, you would have thought you would have been buying an Alpha card. So originally there was some coax soldered on here, and down at the bottom down here it came out to a reverse SMA connection, so you could attach an antenna to it. So the actual solder points for this coax are already in place with this card, so it's nice and easy. Haven't had to modify anything with the card there. And of course, before we actually mount it into the case, it's a good idea to check that and make sure that everything's working correctly before you do. And as you can see here on the phone, you've got the RTL 8187 USB connection there, so everything is working fine. So it's all finished off, it's up and running, and I've actually done what I set out to do, which was to get rid of all this bulky hardware here, so you're not sticking out like a sore thumb in the coffee shop. And I've also cut away a piece of the case here, and the reason for that is that now I can actually close it up and I can just leave it on the side, actually doing its job, and it doesn't look out of place at all. So it'll probably work a lot better when I actually manage to find one of those angled connectors here for the USB. But for now, it's working fine. So I hope you got something out of that. I know this kind of thing isn't for everyone, but I hope you did find it interesting. If you did, as always, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.